I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are stories I like to bring to you. Before you go to before you go to turn it off, I just have a little chat with the guys in the live, and then I start the story. I don't start chopping and changing in case you're thinking, oh, she's going to be interacting with everyone. That's not what I do. So if you want to fast forward, I don't even mind that. I'll just wait for a few people to come on, and then I'll start. So, and if you'd like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. Thank you so much. Give me a second. I'll have a quick chat with the guys in the live, and then I'll start the story. Hi, Hayley. Hi, sis. How are we all? How are we? Did we have a good weekend? You and them stupid, what are they called? What are them gremlins called? Oh God, them stupid things that you keep sending me. Elves, yes, yes, elves. Can't be dealing with them. Hi, Phil. I've been having to deal with looking at elves all weekend, thanks to Tiffany sending me what she's doing with her elves every night. You've got to tell her. You have to tell her off. They're very funny. They are very funny with the lovely music and everything. I was like, oh my God, no. I thought the crisps one was very good, very creative. She is creative, is artive. But the toilet roll one, you got to stop sending them to me. Know your audience. Oh, I was so upset today with the pen and everything. Oh, no. Hi, Warwick. How you doing? No, they don't rule at all. They're rotten little things. I'm not a bar humbug. I'm not Grinch. But I can't deal with the elves. Can't. Freak me out. Freak me out. So elves aren't for me. But anyway, on another note, how was everyone's weekend? Did anyone do anything exciting at all? Any news to report from anyone? At least. What? Why is the 15 more? Oh, because you've got 15 more. Did you have to do it up to? Do you have to do it up to Christmas Eve? Do you? Oh God! Can't you just say they've had to go and help Santa? They've had to leave and go and help him. Oh God, no. No, not for me. Not for me. I'm glad it was never anything I ever started. I'm so glad I never got into that, because it was just, no. My kids would be sorely disappointed. I told you. They'd just wake up and they'd just be beside them in the bed. That'd be it. I'd probably scare them. Christmas Eve, they return. What do you mean they return? Well, what do you mean they return? What does that mean? Or do they leave and then come back? What does that mean? Leighton decided to break his hand. Had to go on a punch machine. Missed the back. Oh, God, no. Did he? Oh, Hayley, I'm so sorry. Oh, is that one of them, like, arcade punching ones? Oh, God, worst nightmare. Is that, I presume, a trip to the hospital then? Oh, God. Oh, the poor soul. It must have really hurt as well. Oh, God. Touch wood. Haven't had any of that. So, which I'm very happy about. Ugh. They had operations when they were little. But touch wood, nothing over the past few years. And Tiffany, oh, they returned to the North Pole. Oh, I thought you meant they left and they come back. You did it for the day off school. Oh, you're horrible. That's mean. Although, yeah, kind of get where you're coming from a little bit. Just a little bit. But I don't know. That's a lot of pay for a day off school. Oh, do you know, I know you're joking, but in a way, I tried many things to have a day off school, so But oh, I hope. How long's what's he gotta have? Is he gotta have a splint or a cast, or how does that work? And how long for? Oh God, sounds awful. Poor soul, poor little sausage. But yeah, yeah. Are you still gonna send him into school very soon though? I would be like, off you pop, off you pop. You can write with the other hand. Splint for now till fracture clinic get back to us. Oh God, is he going back to school? Can you send him in tomorrow, or is he off for the week? I fair play, same. It's exactly what I'd have done. Fair play. Yes, and you've got 4, so even having one at home would be just, yeah, craziness. So, yeah, I get it. But, just the one day off for him then. Oh, that's unfortunate. Lucky for him, he broke his left hand. Oh, I bet he was devastated. Why was he punching with his left hand then? My God. So you're just trying it out, seeing if he's ambidextrous. Is that what it is, ambidextrous? Warwick, did you have a good weekend? How was your weekend, matey? And Phil. Phil, was you working? Is that what you were doing? But I know what Tiffany was doing all weekend. Him and his mates wanted to... Oh, yeah, explains it all then. Explains it all. It's boys for you, isn't it? It's like, let's come up with an idea of how to break a limb this week. Are you talking to me? My weekend? Are you asking about mine? If you're asking about mine, it's very boring. We had the storm. Oh, my penguin. My penguin off my roof. Oh, he is, mate. Yeah, I was just telling you about it anyway. Off my porch, I've got a reindeer, 3 presents, a reindeer, big reindeer. He's new. He's a new addition. And a penguin that we've had for, I don't know, about 5 years. And I looked out the bedroom window. Reindeer are staying put. Presents were staying put. But the poor penguin, who's plugged in upstairs, was just hanging by the front door, bless him. Large amount of alcohol. Wow, excellent. That's a weekend and a half. I'm impressed. Do you know what? Happy about that for you, Warwick. Happy about that for you. Honestly, good for you. Because no, I just devastated at my swinging penguin. That was about it, and not a metaphor for anything. I don't know what that could be a metaphor for, to be honest. Oh God, I try and avoid saying stuff. It does sound better than all of ours, doesn't it? It sounds amazing. And Phil was working. Oh God. So, but it's a quiet one, really, bar Warwick. Hey Natalie, how are you? Well, and Hayley with her craziness, crazy son even. How are you, Natalie? How's it going? We're just discussing everyone's weekends here. Haven't missed anything. That's every day. Ooh. Oh wow. I suppose Christmas comes very quickly for you then, because it's all just one big blur, isn't it? So it'll be Christmas and New Year before you know it. How are you going to enjoy New Year if every day's the same? Tell you what, I'm very excited for New Year. I get to see our moderator extraordinaires. Hopefully get to see both of them if Hayley's joining us for New Year. Very excited. You love working weekends. Oh, is that sarcasm there, Phil? Or do you really? I can't believe that. I can't believe, but some people do really like their jobs. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge at all. But it wouldn't be for me. It's not something I'd enjoy. I've already made that very clear. I like my weekends, whether I'm doing anything or not. I love my weekends. Has anyone heard of this one then? Oh, God. I'm going to devastate you as I always do. It is a child, just to give you all a heads up. But I'm going to do my little intro as I do. It really helps when putting it up on the pre-recorded ones. Oh, you are serious? Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, someone's got to enjoy doing the weekends because people like me wouldn't do it. Has Natalie got pink hair? Did I know that? Did I know that? My memory's just gone to pot. Am I doing a teeth? Oh, I'm horrible. I'm horrible. I'm joking. I'm joking, Tiffany. Right, I'm going to start in a second. I might leave you all to it in there. Oh, pink hair. Oh, I do know this. I do know this. See, I like Tiffany. It does come back. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll this evening. I make a joke. I make a joke. Very funny. Yes, I did have this discussion, didn't I? Because I was on about my friend from the school had pink hair and Tiffany lost her mind because I had another friend. Yes, all come back to me now. All come back to me now. Right, okay, I'm going to begin. I have been just a little side note. I have been putting my stories up on the pre-recorded ones, but no comments so far. Although, did I tell you all? I did get a comment on the TikTok. I got a comment on the TikTok. I've actually had 2 comments on the TikTok. One saying she couldn't watch anymore, which is fair enough. But the other one was telling me I'm very unprofessional. I'm not very attractive. I shouldn't be doing this. And what was the other thing he said? Oh God, I'm not very professional. I stutter. The stutter, apparently. Yeah, just tore me apart on the TikTok. And so it's not something I normally do, but I deleted the comment. It was either that or I was going to reply and it was all very, it was all very messy. Let people like me work weekends so you can enjoy them off. Excellent, that's a good deal, Phil. I'm on that. I'm very on that. It sounds good. But yeah, so the TikTokers, they weren't very nice to me. They're not very nice to me. These young ones, they're coming for me. But you know what? I can take it. I can take it because I just want to get them over here. I'm just trying to move them over to this side. But anyway, I can take it. Well, I can take it, but I will delete it because otherwise I'd get the devil in me and I'd start replying. And if it's not there, I can't reply to it. So that was the whole point of deleting it, because otherwise I'd have gone flying in both feet because he was really, really mean. And I thought, no, we're not going to do this. He's already called me unprofessional. So we're not going to live up to that. We're just going to move on. And that's what I chose to do. So anyway, we're going to begin. We're going to start because I've kept Jess for far too long already. So, you've knocked off. You've all knocked off. There we go. Oh, hi, Sharon. How are you? How are you? I am Aphrodite. I should just say that, shouldn't I? I should just go, I am Aphrodite. Don't you dare talk to me like that again, peasant. But see, that's why I can't talk to people, because then things will come out of my mouth and it just all gets very messy. So we'll just delete them. Right, okay. So, how you doing, Sharon, anyway? Are you okay? Are you all right? Have you had a good weekend? But I'm going to start because I've kept them all gassing for the past 15 minutes. So I'm going to start now. I'm going to leave you all to it. Don't worry, I was going to do that, but that's what I mean. Sometimes, depending on my mood, sometimes I can go a bit too far, as Tiffany can testify to. And I find it funny and some people don't. So I thought, no, he's already called me unprofessional and that this isn't a face for TV, apparently. Rude. So I just thought, No, but if he comes back, I'm gunning for him. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Still knee deep in sorting out the house. Still going, Sharon. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, God, you're so good. Do you know, it just makes me think I've got to do it myself. My house is just, it's driving me crazy at the minute. Anyway, definitely going to start now. How far does way too far, Warwick. Way too far. Too low. I go way too low. It gets very messy. There are tears spilt when I really get going, and I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't be allowed. I can't be set free. It is not. It is not. Not at the minute. It's too much. It's too much. I need a bigger house. But right, okay, let's go. Okay, so I'm welcome back to my channel, True Crime with Jess Rose. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are stories I like to bring to you. If you would like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. Just a little bit of a heads up. It is a story of a child. So I completely understand if that's not it's something you can stick around for. Completely understand. But if you can, I'm going to begin now. So thank you so much. So, okay, as the title said, it's 3 Hours of Hell, the devastating Christopher Gardner story. Okay. Oh, God, it's just awful. But I haven't seen an awful lot on this story at all, which I thought is really sad, really sad. It does go back to the 90s, and yeah, I'm going to bring it to you now. So, Christopher Irwin Gardner was born on the 18th of May 1994 in Sullivan County, New York. His mum, Tracy Ann Irwin. Now, Dad, don't know anything about. He wasn't on the scene. I have looked, but I don't know if, from what I can gather, he didn't have anything to do with Christopher, or he certainly didn't for long. Okay. Now, Christopher did have one younger sibling, and I know I've seen a photo, but I couldn't even tell what the sibling was, whether it was a younger brother, younger sister. But the sibling isn't involved in the story this evening, so I wouldn't give any names out, even if I found them. So that's his sibling. Now, like I say, Christopher didn't see his dad. Adorable little boy. But when I say adorable, there's 2 pictures. Just two little photos of this little boy. Big blue eyes, brown curly hair, cute little lad, holding, who I believe is the younger sibling as a very young baby. And in the picture, I believe Christopher's about 2. Now, in that picture, he has got a mark on his head here. Now, I don't know where that mark comes from. I just will say that if you do go away to have a look at a picture of him, he has got a mark on his forehead here. All right. Such an adorable little boy. It was said he was very happy-go-lucky. He did have a possible learning difficulty, disability, sorry. But just a very happy little lad. Now, we get to 97/1998, okay? Now, Tracy was, at this point, in a new relationship, with a man called William Banker, who was 33, Okay, Tracy, I don't know if I said 27. All right. Now, at this point, Christopher is 3 years old. Okay. Now, that's all I have on history of this little boy. That's it. That's the history I have on him, which is as heartbreaking as this story is. That's all I have. It's awful. But we go to April the 1st, 1998. Okay? Like I say, he's a month away from his 4th birthday at this point, so he's still 3 years old. Now, we've got a man called Michael Shabbat. Alright? Now, Michael is a paramedic. Okay? And at this point on the 1st of April, he's visiting his mum. He's not working. He's visiting his mum. Okay? And he does that on his days off. Always goes around to visit his mum. And as he was leaving, he notices that his mum's neighbour, okay, was outside pacing up and down. All right. And he noticed she sort of had a cordless phone in her hand, but she wasn't on the phone. And he believes she looked a little bit distressed. He's a paramedic. It's certain things, you know, he recognises certain flags. And he looked, and it looked like there's something really wrong here. So he puts on his uniform. He puts his uniform on. And he goes to ask her if she's okay. All right. Now, the woman in question is Tracy, Christopher's mum. All right. Now, she was on her front porch. Okay. Now, when you say front porch, it looked like the home itself. The pictures I've looked at, it looked like a very close estate. It didn't look like a mobile home. I will say that. And I'll explain. You'll see in a minute why it can't be a mobile home. But it kind of looked like that in the picture. And the porch was like decking outside with a fence round it. So I just want you to imagine that. So you've got the door that opens, you've got decking that comes out and a fence round it. And on the left-hand side, you've got steps that lead up onto this decking. Okay? So she's on that front porch. Okay? So he walks up the steps, okay, and sees her, but as he looks, there's a table on this porch, and lying on the table, okay, he sees little Christopher. Now, he doesn't obviously know little Christopher, but he sees this little young lad lying on the table. And who he believes is his mum, is just pacing around the porch with a phone in her hand that she's not actually on. All right. Now, Christopher appeared to be half conscious. All right. And as Michael cast his gaze over little Christopher, and don't forget Michael's paramedic. So as he looks Christopher sort of up and down as he approaches him, he notices that this little boy has got injuries all over him. Okay? From what he can gather, these injuries are head to toe. This boy's really injured. Okay? So Christopher's got a huge bruise on his forehead, and there's blood coming out of his ears, his nose, and his mouth at this point. Now remember, Tracy, mummy dearest, is just walking around with a phone. She's not using it. Okay? So, like I say, he's got bruises all over him, plus a very deep bite mark on his right arm. A human bite mark. on this 3-year-old baby. Okay. The bruises and lacerations, they, from his quick glance over Christopher, they look old and new. So some in the in the form of their healing, but there's some that look brand new. Okay. Little Christopher was dying. Okay. It's a month before his 4th birthday, and this little boy is dying on a table on his porch. And his mother, there's the exclamation marks, is it but his mother hasn't phoned anyone yet. She hasn't phoned for help yet. This little boy is dying. Okay. And what Tracy tells him, look, he fell down the stairs. You know, straight away. He fell down the stairs. And this paramedic's looking at this little boy in front of him, and he's like, I don't think so. But the actual landlord or landlady, as you say, of Tracy and William, it's actually her who ends up calling 911, okay, on the say-so of the paramedic, okay, Michael. So, Christopher's flown to St. Francis Hospital in New York, and he fought so hard to live. This little boy did. He fought for 7 hours to live, and they fought to save him. But, like I say, around 7.5 hours, he lost his fight, and he passed away. This little 3-year-old, little cute little fella, he died. All right. So the police are called, okay, and they begin to talk to Tracy and William. All right. And what they noticed quite quickly, there's no emotion. There's no emotion from either of these two over her son's death and someone who she basically said William was a father figure for Christopher. So considering he classed himself as a father figure, this new boyfriend, and his actual mother, that there was no emotion from them. And the police, of course, they're suspicious anyway, but this really doesn't help. And the pair themselves just continued saying he fell down the stairs. This is their reasoning for how injured this little boy is. He fell down the stairs. Alright. So the pair are arrested. Along with the other woman, Gianna Lynn Lester, who's 31, who's the landlady I told you about, who was the lady who called 911. Okay. Now, her name's Gianna, but they call her Jeannie, okay? Now, the home they all lived in was a double-level property. That's what I was saying about the picture. It's obviously can't be a mobile home that I know of. It's just the picture and how it looks to me. But it's a double-level property, and she also lived there with her husband and her kids, okay? I believe she was upstairs, and William, Tracy, little Christopher, and his little sibling are downstairs. That's how I've worked out the living situation, okay? Now, the thing with this house, what I noticed straight away was the amount of rubbish piled up outside the house. Just bags and bags and bags of rubbish by the stairs. Just looks scruffy. Basically, really scruffy. That's how this house looked to me on first glance. Okay. Now, I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. But she Now, Jeannie was there when Christopher had been hurt. So all three continue to say this little boy fell down the stairs. Now, I've said it to you probably 4 times, and this is what they keep saying. It was the stairs. He fell down the stairs. He tripped down the stairs. This is all 3 of them. Okay? Now, the police eventually find out what really happened. Alright? So, it actually started when Christopher, let me mention again, who's 3 years of age. He's a baby. He's a toddler. Alright? He took a sweetie. They're saying he took a piece of candy, but he took a sweet. He basically took a sweet. Okay? That was it. A sweetie. That was it. That was his bad thing that he did. He took a sweetie. Alright? And when William asked him, did you take the sweet? Little Christopher innocently replied, well, yeah. William lost his mind. He lost his absolute mind over this sweetie that's gone missing. This sweet. He loses it completely. Him and Jeannie, the neighbour, the landlord, them two, right, grab little Christopher because of his bad thing of robbing the sweetie. And they grab him and they drag him into the bathroom. Right. They close the bathroom door behind them and they begin to beat little Christopher brutally. Brutally. Alright. And this continued for an hour. Alright. And in that time, little Christopher was being punched. He's being kicked. Being dragged around the bathroom, screamed at for an hour. Okay. Then Jeannie opens the bathroom door and she leaves. She goes back to her own place. Okay. And you might be like, where's Tracy? Mum, where is she? Where could she be? Where's her landlord and her son's stepdad beating her son in the bathroom? Where? She can't possibly be in the property. She can't possibly know about this. Oh, but she did. She was there. She was in the living room while this was going on. And when Jeannie left, then Tracy gets up and she goes into the bathroom. Alright? She'd been listening to her baby's screams. And then she goes in to join in. And her and William continue punching, kicking, dragging around this little baby in the bathroom. And for an over further 2 hours, they continue to beat this little boy. To cover his screams, they shove a dirty sock in his mouth. Okay? And every now and again, they'd fancy a cigarette. So they'd stop and have a cigarette. And then when they'd finish the cigarette, there's no ashtray. So they'd put it out on Christopher and burn holes into his stomach. At one point, little Christopher, he pulls the dirty sock out of his mouth, okay, and he tries to defend himself. He's 3 years old, but he tries against these absolute cretins. He tries to defend himself and he pulls the sock out of his mouth and he bites one of them. Little Christopher does. So then they both begin biting him back. And these bites drew blood. Severe bites that were breaking his skin. And then while he was on the floor, Tracy decides to stand on him. She puts a whole weight on his little stomach while he's on the floor. Then he was picked up and threw into the bathtub. The bathtub had been filled with cold water, freezing cold water. And he was thrown into it. And then he was dragged out. And then he was splashed with boiling hot water, burning him severely. He was thrown around the bathroom. And then the other rooms in the house hitting the walls as they threw him. And then I think, as just as heartbreaking as all of this is, their excuse that he fell down the stairs, it wasn't 100% a lie. Not 100%. Because they threw him down the stairs. And then they brought him back up. And they threw him down the stairs again. Then they brought him back up. And they threw him down the stairs again. He's 3 years old. He was continually punched and kicked, like I say, around the house. They still weren't happy and they began whipping him with a belt. And by the end, this was covered in his blood, a leather belt. And like I say, all of this went on for 3 hours. 3 hours this went on for. Little Christopher. Now, if you remember what I said when Michael, the paramedic, came across little Christopher lying on that table outside, he was half conscious at that point. He was still conscious. Which means that he was conscious for all of it. For every punch, every kick, the cigarettes being put out on him, being flung down the stairs time and time again. He was awake for all of it. Oh, God. We get to the 2nd of April, 98. Okay. The 3 of them, Tracy, William and Jeannie, were all charged at the time with 2nd-degree murder. Okay. But then the autopsy came in. Alright, of little Christopher. And this autopsy, the pathologist said it took him hours to complete this autopsy. This little boy's 3, he's tiny. But it took hours to complete it. Now, like I say, there was old and new injuries all over his little body, which shows that he'd been getting abused for quite a lot of time. Okay? Now, he had 97 separate injury sites. Okay. He had a broken arm from being thrown down the stairs. He had a fractured jaw from being punched in his face. Cigarette burns all over his torso. Severe bite marks all over him. From that one bite that when he was trying to defend himself, they thought they should bite him everywhere. He had a lacerated liver. He had a collapsed lung. His entire body, all his skin was discoloured. It was red and blue all over him. Okay. There was also bruising and lacerations to his little private parts. Oh. And then there were severe injuries to his rear end. a sign of a sexual assault. Ugh. He was a baby. He was 3 years old. Absolute. Ugh. And this wasn't a burst of rage in a one-off attack that lasted 3 hours, but it wasn't a one-off. You know, this had been going on for a while, to the point where, what do you know, calls had been made to child services. Aren't they always? The calls had been made by neighbours and mandated reporters. They'd been phoning social services about not only this child, little Christopher, but also Jeannie's kids who were living in the same property. The neighbours would see the kids outside. They'd see little Christopher. They'd see her kids. And they'd say that they looked bedraggled, they looked neglected. They were also overheard screaming at the kids while the kids were outside. So it's not like it's happening inside and a neighbour just happens to be walking past and can hear something. No. They were quite brazenly calling these, the names they were calling these kids. I don't want to repeat them. Just for anyone to hear. Just awful. So when we get to the trial, okay, the DA at that point was a man called Stephen Lungan, okay. Now, these three, I keep saying cretins because I can't call them animals. I made my mind up to not call anyone an animal again on this channel, because it just doesn't. They're not animals. Animals wouldn't do this. Well, these three cretins, they pled not guilty. They had the audacity to plead not guilty to murder. Well, the DA, like I say, Stephen Lungan, he wanted the death penalty on these three. He was going for the death penalty on this. Now, to go for the death penalty, you have to prove extenuating circumstances, i.e. torture. You have to be able to prove that, okay? And it's quite hard. It's quite hard to prove that, to be able to go for the death penalty, all right? So what he did, now don't forget, this is the 90s. Technology wasn't what it is now. So what he invoked was the help of a place called the NLECTC, okay? And that stands for the National Law Enforcement of Corrections Technology Centre. It was established in 1994, all right? And what it was, it's so sad. It's so sad, and it does remind me of baby Brianna Lopez, okay? What they did, they used new technology at the time to basically remove all of Christopher's injuries, nearly 100 of them. And they said it was really, it was the time that was put into it because of just how many injuries were on this little, tiny little body, 100 injuries. And they removed them all, and they showed the photo of little Christopher at the trial, okay? And what they did, what they wanted to prove was a timeline of how each injury would have been inflicted, in a sense. So what they did was they showed little Christopher, and they said when all the injuries were taken away, he just looked like a little baby boy. Because don't forget, these people have only seen him in this state that these three had inflicted to him, had put him in. And so to remove every injury, they were like, he just looked like a normal little boy. And then for the jury, one by one, they started putting the injuries back on Christopher's body, one by one, to show just how much what they had to have done to have inflicted this damage. So by the end of, would you call, I don't know if you call it a presentation, I don't know what you would call it, but by the end, you've got then Christopher in the state they'd left him in. And I just thought, oh, it must have been devastating for everyone in that courtroom. You'd think, wouldn't you? You would think you would, oh, you'd cry from beginning to end. No, not Tracy and William. No remorse. No sign of remorse. How could you? I don't know this little boy. You know, I of course, no one will ever get to meet him, and you know, and you can feel just so upset at the thought of that, and the thought of having to sit and look at that happen, and you know, and knowing that it was these people who'd inflicted it, and just nothing from them. Oh, just awful. They did this to try and prove the torture element needed for the death penalty. But they didn't feel remorse. But what they did feel after the recreation that they'd done, they knew they'd had it. They knew they were going for the death penalty. So they changed their mind, did William and Tracy, after the recreation that the DA had set up. And they changed their plea to guilty to first degree murder. Okay? Now, for him to accept that plea from them and not pursue the death penalty, the agreement was it's life without parole. You don't try and get parole, it's life, no parole. And that they pled to that, okay? So, but through all of it, there was no remorse whatsoever. In fact, William, as he was being taken down, gave the middle finger to the DA in sort of, you know, rebelliousness. You've just been sentenced to life for murdering a 3-year-old baby. And you're showing some sort of defiance by putting your finger up at the DA. Like you're a teenager just being caught, I don't know, robbing a car or something. It was just, that to me was just like, oh my God, it's just disgusting. Now, you might be saying, well, what about Jeannie? You know, the landlord. What about her? What happened to her? Let's not forget, she was in that bathroom for an hour before Mummy Dearest went in. Why she was in there, I don't know. Why was a landlord involved in? Why was she involved in that? But judging on the fact that child service has been called for her own kids, I would say she wasn't great with them either. But what she got, she pled guilty to beating him for an hour, but she left, didn't she? She left. So she pled guilty to 4th degree assault. And do you want to know what she got? She got 7 years. She only did 4. She was 8 in 2002. Now, okay, you might have got the main culprit, you might say, and they've got life without. But to go from life without parole to someone else doing 4 years, I didn't quite get that. I didn't quite understand how they came up with that deal. I don't get that. So, yeah, that, I don't know. But yes, she was out after 4 years, all right? Now, as it always is, but a bill was put forward for harsher penalties for child abuse. Okay, it was dismissed. It was dismissed. This is obviously in the 90s. It was dismissed. It was held for months and then years, and then eventually it just got dismissed. Like it was nothing. And mandated reporters were losing their mind. They were like, why mandate us to call if you're not going to follow it up? Why are we doing it? If we have to call when we see a child in danger, why is no one following it up? What's happening? What's going on? So the community was in uproar over it. Okay. But I've seen someone put changes will be made, or we hear it all the time, don't we? We hear it all the time. And when I go back, you know, and you could be like, oh, it's because it was back then. No, it's not because it was back then. It's happening right up to now. It's like, I just don't understand. I never get it. I always get so confused. It's like, why? Now, okay. We know that I've said many times that as annoyed as I get at the social services and the authorities that are involved with these children, especially when they are involved in these cases, I do get very annoyed. But I also always say, you know, we know who the culprits are. They're the real murderers. They're where the not wrath, but the disgust should be pointed to, etc., etc., etc. Okay, I've said that many times. But today I heard a creator say something and it made me stop. It did make me think, because I've heard myself say it many times, you know, I know that more could be done, but let's not forget who the real murderers are. I've said it many times, I know I have. But this creator said something and I was a bit like, do you know what? And it's not anything, you know, oh God, I've lost my wording. It's nothing crazy. It just kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit, because he said, yes, it's the people who commit the crime that are to blame. Yes, they are, which is what I say. But he says, but if you were hurt or in trouble, so let's say you had, I don't know, got hit by a car on the road, okay? Or someone had just mugged you. Just any of these sort of scenarios, okay? You wouldn't expect a doctor or a policeman to just step over you and go, well, it wasn't me that inflicted that, so nothing to do with me, and walk away. You wouldn't expect that to happen because it's their job. It's their job. They've got a job to do. And that job is to help you, even though they didn't inflict whatever injury it may be on you, or you know, they didn't, or whatever crime it might be. Like, the police didn't mug you, but they're going to be there to help you on the other side of that. Or they didn't hit you with a car, the paramedics didn't, but they're going to be there to help you when you're lying on the floor. That's their job. And child services' job is to protect these children. And it just stopped me in my tracks a little bit. Because not that I've ever sided with the child services by any stretch of the imagination, but I've always sort of been like, yeah, okay, I understand, but let's not forget who did it. And I suppose I'm still saying that to a degree, but it did make me think. So they are getting paid. They're getting paid to protect children. That's their whole job. And they're not doing it. And yeah, it really made me think. And it sounds very obvious. And although I knew it, to have it worded that way, it was like, ugh. Yeah, they're really not, they're not doing their job, are they? Uh, right. Little Christopher was buried at Hillside Cemetery in Middletown, New York City. Little Christopher this year, he would have been 30 years old this year. And he didn't even make it to 4. Oh, and it's just absolutely heartbreaking. But that was 3 hours of hell. The devastating Christopher Gardner story. Oh, God. Oh, just so sad. Just for what again? I'm so sick of these cases when I'm like, at the end, I'm like, what? For what? And in this one, because he had a suite, because he took a suite, I don't even know how they repeated that in their confessions or their sort of justifications for what they did. He stole a suite and that's what triggered it off. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. But thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Tuesdays are my request evening. Thursdays are stories I like to bring to you. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It'd be great if you could come and join us on the live. But yeah, I'll be back on Thursday. So thank you so much again. Oh, and if you'd like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. But thank you so much again. Thank you. Take care. Take care. How are we all doing in there? How's it going? Oh, thank you, sis. Thanks, Hayley. It's just awful, isn't it? Oh, hi, Jessica. How you doing? How are you? I just saw you there. How are you? Honestly puts us to an abysmal shame. Yes, it does, Phil. It absolutely does. It does, because we know they wouldn't have got that here. Yes, it is, Warwick. I agree with you there. Get them sterilised. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely as well. I agree. Oh, it's just so sad, isn't it? It's so sad. I come across these cases and I'm not, I don't, because I know child cases, they're hard to say, they're hard to listen to, but I do think that little mite went through all that, so the least I can do is tell his story, and you know, if you can, it's not, you know, it's nice if people can listen to his story, but I just wish there wasn't so many. I just wish there wasn't so many. Look, there really is. Oh, it's just awful. Awful while we're living. But, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Oh, are you okay, Jess? That's good. Did you really? Why am I laughing? That's not funny. I don't know why I laughed then. That was really inappropriate. I didn't mean it like that. It was just, ugh. Did you? It's crazy. Oh, I know. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's what I was trying to say. You might be like, well, that goes back to the 90s, but there's always more. There's always more. Oh God, it's just really upsetting. It's really upsetting. You've got people out there crying out, like, you know, to adopt, and that would give these amazing homes to these little kids, and then you've got them popping them out, and just, ugh, God, no, it's just sickening. It's just absolutely sickening. It really is. It always makes me, just always makes me sort of gag a little bit. It's horrible. The poor little soul. In her defence, Warwick, I kind of giggled too for a split second before I'd properly read what you've said. So maybe she was laughing because I'd laughed. So I'm sorry. I'd misread it. So yeah, it's not funny at all. Oh dear, it's just yeah. It's great to see you, Jessica. I'm not in that one. I don't know what that conversation is about. I don't know. Did I see something from Courtney earlier or talking? Oh, Tiffany! I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word. I've already said I shouldn't. The sense of humour is dark, isn't it? It's so dark. It really is. It's terrible. I think that's when I laughed. As a family, our sense of humour is very dark. It really is. But did I see someone mention Courtney? But I didn't notice that. Still has got to look up Kinsley Wells. The Kinsley one I've heard of. The Kinsley one I'd heard of not long ago. Levi Stevens from Indiana. I don't know the Levi one, but I do know the Kinsley one. She called me formal. Oh, you're not formal. She's more formal than us, I suppose. Tiffany's she's got a little bit of a posh edge to her. Little bit, teeny bit, I think. So that might be what she means. Is that what she means? You're a bit more, not well spoken. I wouldn't say well spoken. No offence. But yeah, you've got sort of, yeah, you have. You've got a bit more of a reserved, to a degree. Only to a... See, I don't know. See, I'm saying a small amount. I'm teeny. Very teeny. See, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Hayley. Yeah, she does. She can hold herself to a degree, which I can't. I don't manage to. So, yeah, she's got that ability. He's a hoot, Jessica. Yes, he is. He's a good lad. God, my leg is stuck tonight. My goodness. Do you know, when you see me doing this, it's because you're on my poof. I think we knew when I had my mess up with my setup the last time. You're on my poof. She is very formal, Phil, isn't she? Formal, definitely. Yeah, on my poof. But I've also got a, what would you call it? Like a massive gamer beanbag in front of it. So I can't push it forward. So my legs, when I'm telling this story, are normally, they're not quite to my chin. But that's why you'll see me shuffling around so much. It's like, oh my God, I need to stretch my legs. She did used to be a chaff. Hyacinth. Is that why you call her Hyacinth? I meant to ask you the other day why Hyacinth. Mrs. Bucket. Do you know, that does do Tiffany well. Because she'd be Bucket, but she'd say bouquet. That is, do you know what? I think you've got it there. I think he's got you, Tiffany. I think the Hyacinth bouquet. I think that is, yeah, I'm going with that. It's Mrs. Bouquet. Yes, that's what I'm going with. Because it's really Bucket, but we'll go with Bouquet. Yes, I'm on that. I agree. What was I going to say? Oh, God, I lost something again then. I forgot something again. I get. Do you get called Mrs. Bouquet as well? That's hilarious. And that's so funny. That was it. I heard, yeah, because Warwick had put it the other day, and I meant to ask, but I couldn't. A sister. Are you trying to say sister? Is that what you're trying to say? But yeah, I couldn't understand why he was calling it her. People think you're posh, but you're not. Is that what it is? Is that what's going on? Admit it, Jess. You all take the piss behind her back. Who behind Tiffany? No, I'm more of a to your face kind of person, Warwick. Unfortunately, I think some people would prefer it if I said it behind their back, so they wouldn't have to hear it. But no, I'm more of an upfront kind of chick. I was, yeah. As Tiffany can attest to, it's my problem a lot of the time. Sometimes I'm a little too honest without meaning to be. Do you not, Sharon? See, I don't know. I just know it sounds very broad. I don't mind you. Tiffany doesn't read. I gotta admit, we're quite a blunt family. To be honest, you can't be thin-skinned around us for the most part. We're very nice once we know you. But see, we're very nice on a surface level, but once you get to know us, then we're really brutal. That's when we get really brutal, when we really like you. So that's kind of how it works. If we're just being polite to you, then you know you're kind of on the periphery. But if we lie into you, then we really like you. That's how it tends to work. It's possible. I'll have a look at that, Jessica. I'll have a look at that. Yeah, because I don't think I've seen that one. I know I've definitely seen the other one. I don't think, though the foster mum rings a bell. But I'll have a look. I'll have another look because it does vaguely ring a bell, but the name doesn't. So I'll have to have a look. Yeah, Phil. Yes, she does. Right. Do you think I've got a strong accent, Phil? Because Tiffany talks like me. So if you think I have, then yes, she has. But if you don't think I have, then no, she hasn't. She hasn't picked up the Skegness kind of northern speak. Rabs in Nesbit. Oh, God. I can't help doing it. I can't help it when I see it. Oh, do I? Oh, okay. Then Tiffany has her kids within probably 6 months completely lost their Brummie accent. I hadn't seen them for a while. Went to see them, accent completely gone, and they sounded like little posh kids. It was crazy. It was mad. But no, she's kept her Brummie accent. But no, her kids are very posh, and Hayley's very posh. Hayley talks very posh. They've got a very posh twang up there. It's unnerving. They're very posh up there, and yeah, you've got a really soft accent, Sharon. I think you don't sound sort of aggressive like you know how in Ireland we've got like Northern Ireland. It sounds quite aggressive. And I find some Scottish accents can sound quite aggressive. Even when you're saying "give me a hug," it sounds quite like I'm gonna kill you. So that's kind of that accent. I have a strong English accent. Oh, you're American, aren't you, Jessica? Is that? Do you know what, Warwick? Yes, they are up there. No, I know Skeggy's not posh. It's nice up there. It is nice. There's some really posh places there, though. Nice posh houses and that. But I know what you're saying, but they just sound really posh. No, you do. We're Brummies. There's not a lot that doesn't sound posh from us. Bar Scousers. I think we're on the level with Scousers for not sounding posh. That yes, I thought you were. Yes, it's all right. We've got a lot of regional accents, Jessica. I mean, you can go a couple of miles down the road, and the accent will change quite strongly. So we have a lot of accents for such a little teeny island. We really do. There's a lot of them. But yeah, so that's what I was saying. Well, yeah, I'd imagine. What part of America are you from, Jessica? Where are you from? Just out of curiosity, are you from the south or one of the northern states? See, I'm Blackpool. Yeah, you're not posh either. That's not posh either. Yeah, you're with us, Warwick, Blackpool, North Carolina. What are you saying? Are you from the south? Have you got a southern drawl, Jessica? Because I love that accent. I've got to say, I love that accent. If you have, it's such a cool accent. I love listening to people from the southern part, down the south of America. I love it, I do. North Carolina. I live in Blackpool. Yeah, like I say, yeah, Warwick, you're the same as us then. You, Scousers and Brummies, we've all got the similar, just not, we could never be confused with it, posh. And Yam Yams, then not at all. They can't be classed as posh either. It's bad. Brummie is like Wisconsin. Well, version. Brummie is like the Wisconsin version. Glasgow is New York. Yeah, that sound. Yes. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. That's a very good description, Sharon. Very good description. I'll definitely put Glasgow as New York. Accent-wise. Definitely. In the aggression sort of conversation. Yes. Because New Yorkers, oh my God. They've just got their whole other... It's like they're in a whole other country of their own, aren't they? It's quite funny. It is quite funny when I watch them. Right, guys. I'm going to let yous go because I have to get my kids to sleep, man. Otherwise, they're not going to sleep and then they're going to be moaning in the morning. It's a whole thing and I've kept you rambling for so long. I'm so sorry. I've been very chatty this evening. I've enjoyed the chat this evening. But yes, I'm going to do the jingle now. But let me thank yous all. Keep it, do you know, does my head in having to press this every 2 minutes. Anyone who's... It's too lazy. I'm so glad I didn't say that out loud. I'm so glad. That's horrible. That's horrible, Warwick. Very funny though. I'm not repeating it. Right, okay. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to Sharon and Warwick and Tiff and Hayley, my moderators extraordinaires, and Jessica and Natalie I've seen tonight. I've got 7 on here, but I don't know. Have I missed someone? But true. Brutal, Warwick. Brutal. I think I've got everywhere. I think I've mentioned everyone. And Phil. I said Phil, didn't I? Phil and Warwick. Yes, I did. So, thank you all. If I missed anyone, I apologise sincerely, but I don't think I did. And if you would want to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. And also, I'd really appreciate it if you could look, comment and subscribe, guys. Look, comment and subscribe. My eyebrow, they're not looking good. Look, comment and subscribe, guys. Look, comment and subscribe. Like, comment and subscribe, please. Comment and subscribe. I've got to calm it down. Calm it down a little bit. And yes, I will see you all Thursday. So have a fabulous couple of days. Yes, thank you all so much for joining me again. And I will see you all on Thursday. Good night, everyone. Take care. Like, comment and subscribe, guys. Please. We have a face for jingles. A face for I have a face for jingles. I have a Facebook. I get very angry. I'm very angry in my job. Right, I've got to go. I've got to go. Right. I'll see you all on Thursday. Thank you, guys. Look, current subscribe, guys. Look, current subscribe.